School starts on Monday. Counting the days. There's 3 of them. Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Lyle here with another edition of WNBA Weekly. Here's what happened this week in the association. First on Tuesday, you had a bunch of different games. Chicago at Washington. Elena Delle Donne returned to action and had a team-high 24 points, while Sylvia Fowles had another double-double as the Sky rallied back from a double-digit deficit to win their 3rd straight, assuring that for the first time in franchise history, the Sky will have a winning record, and they are now 1 win away from clinching their first ever playoff berth. Then you have Minnesota at Atlanta. Rebecca Brunson had a double-double. Maya Moore was 1 rebound short of a double-double as well, but behind 23 points from Tiffany Hayes and a 16-point, 16-rebound game from D'Souza, the Dream were in complete control of the 4th quarter and were able to pull away and come away with their 3rd straight win. Then you have Phoenix at Tulsa. Liz Cambage had another huge double-double, but Tulsa fell just short as Dupree, Griner, and Taurasi all had double-doubles as Phoenix hangs on for the win, beating the Shock for the 3rd time in the past 11 days. Then you have Los Angeles at Seattle. Tina Thompson had a double-double, and in doing so ties Taz McWilliams-Franklin for 2nd on the career rebounding list with 3,013. And Tanisha Wright was 1 rebound away from a double-double as well as the Storm ended LA's winning streak. I don't want to say I called it, but I'm not shocked that it happened. Also in that game, Shekinna Stricklen left the 2nd quarter with an Achilles injury. I'll try to update you on that if I can, but more than likely it'll just be quicker for you to go find out on your own because I got nothing right now. Then on Wednesday, you had San Antonio at Indiana as Shavante Jallis returned to action and led the team with 20 points as the Fever were in control of the entire game and finally ended their losing streak. And then Thursday, you had Minnesota at Connecticut. Tina Charles had another double-double, 22 points, 12 rebounds, but all 5 of the Lynx starters had double-digit points and 4 of them had 5 or more assists, including Rebecca Brunson, who led Minnesota with 24 points and 11 rebounds as they hand the Sun their 3rd straight loss. And after this exciting week of WNBA action, here are the current standings. There are quite a few games to look forward to this week. A few of them are being broadcast nationally, but as always, for the ones that aren't, you can check your local listings to see when it'll air on local television channels or radio stations, or you can get WNBA live access and watch every single game. On Friday, we start with Atlanta at Washington. Angel Mccoughtry and the Dream take their winning streak into Washington, where the Mystics are hoping to end a short losing streak. This game begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My preview is that right now, the Dream look pretty amazing, but all of their recent wins have come at home, so with that in mind, I'm not really expecting anything from this game. I don't think I'd really be shocked with any results. Then you've got San Antonio at Tulsa. The 2 lowest seeds in the Western Conference are fighting to save their season as the Silver Stars head into Tulsa to take on the Shock. This game will air on NBA TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my preview is that the season is not quite over. Both of these teams have a chance of getting into the playoffs, but that opportunity gets smaller with a loss. And I'm going to say this right now, if the Shock do somehow manage to get into the playoffs, Liz Cambage has to be the league MVP. Then you've got New York at Chicago. The Liberty hope to end their losing streak as they head into Chicago, where the Sky are hoping to clinch their franchise's first playoff berth. This game will begin at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My preview is that the Sky have been strong at home all season, and to be honest, I've pretty much given up on New York this season. Next, you've got Seattle at Phoenix. Tina Thompson and the Storm head into Phoenix hoping to steal a win and close the gap between them and the 3rd-seeded Mercury. This game will air on NBA TV at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My preview is that while Seattle has been a strong team all year, the Mercury have played incredibly well under their new head coach. Then on Saturday, you've got Indiana at Minnesota. Tamika Catchings and the Fever head into Minnesota to take on Rebecca Brunson and the Lynx. This game will air on ESPN3 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My preview is that Both of these teams have recently rebounded from losses and are looking to get on a longer winning streak. And while the Fever are trying to get back above 500, the Lynx are still holding on to a slim lead for that number 1 spot. Next, you've got Chicago at Atlanta. The battle for first place as the top-seeded Sky head into Atlanta to take on the second-place Dream. This game will air on ESPN2 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my preview is that it would be very easy to choose the Sky. They are currently on a 3-game winning streak and 1 win away from clinching a playoff berth. But Atlanta has only 1 home loss all season, and Chicago is barely above 500 on the road. Just keep that in mind. Then on Sunday, you've got Seattle at San Antonio. Tina Thompson leads the Storm into Seattle where the Silver Stars are fighting to extend their season. This game begins at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and my preview is that the Storm have the lead on this series so far, and to be honest, the Stars are barely clinging on to their playoff hopes. As a San Antonio fan, I would prefer to be optimistic, but things just don't look good. Then you have New York at Connecticut. Cappy Pondexter and the Liberty head into Connecticut to take on Tina Charles and the Sun. This game begins at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and my preview is that both of these teams are under 500, out of the playoffs, and on losing streaks. In a game like this, it's just really hard to say. Then you've got Tulsa at Los Angeles. The last place Shock head into Los Angeles to face the Sparks, who are fighting for first place. This game will air on NBA TV at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and my preview is that Tulsa is a great team. They've played well in the second half, but the Sparks are a great home team with a legitimate chance of finishing the season with that number 1 seed, and I feel like they just have too many weapons for Tulsa to match up against. Well, that's it for this week. Tune in on Monday for an all-new edition of WNBA Weekly. Keep in mind that it's the first day of school. I'm probably not even going to be home till 5, so it's going to be up it might not even be up till 8 o'clock at night. I wish I could tell you. I just don't know. But until then, this has been The Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Lyle. Have a great weekend.